10 years ago, I scaled a done for you sales agency to over 50 reps without ever using a recruiter. And I've hired, trained, and audited over 500 reps ever since. This was across multiple agencies, different coaching offers, and even in B2B deals. And after all of that, I will tell you this: the way most people hire top sales reps is completely broken. In this episode, I'm going to show you exactly how to hire top sales reps the same way you would do in a client funnel. So you never rely on recruiters, roll the dice on closers, or waste months hoping somebody ever performs. And if you want the exact structure that we use to scale our internal rep funnel, then make sure you follow me on LinkedIn. Link is in the description below. I'm going to be releasing it to the public very, very soon. All right, let's get into it. There are three main parts to hiring top sales reps like a funnel. Number one, attracting the right reps, just like generating new leads. Number two, filtering for coachability, just like you're qualifying your clients. And finally, number three, testing before trusting, just like you deliver with trials before you ever decide to scale. All right, let's break each of them down piece by piece even further. Point number one, attracting. Most founders wait until they're desperate to hire. So they attract out of work closers who are already burnt out. And most closers who are out of work, I mean, let's be honest, they're out of work for a reason. They're probably not very good. The mindset is, I need someone to fix this right now. That leads to rushed hires and mismatched expectations. So what do? Instead of job boards or recruiter DMs, you need to treat rep hiring just like lead gen. Think awareness, authority, and aspirational messaging. So how do you do it? First, you want to create a webinar that sells the dream of joining your team. Notice how I said positioning it as a dream. Your opportunity needs to be the vehicle that they can use to get them to the promised land, right? Just like a client funnel. Too many people make the mistake of hiring and positioning it as a job. No one wants to be at a job, right? They want time freedom. They want to be able to see what they can achieve from being in your organization. Then for social proof, you're going to want to showcase results. This could be money made from other reps by breaking down the numbers, the KPIs, etc. Or if you don't have reps and you're currently taking sales call, totally cool. You can still build belief by just going over the results that you've gotten from doing your own sales. Then you're going to want to use short form content to highlight culture, impact, and of course, the actual opportunity. And remember, you want to position the role as a movement, not a job. Don't be like everyone else. If you want to attract top talent, then you have to do things in a different way that separates from everyone else. But what good is this traffic from your short form content if it doesn't filter out people who would be a poor fit, right? Which leads us to point two, filtering out poor fits. I've seen time and time again, top closers fail because they simply wouldn't follow the proven process that was laid out. The issue wasn't actually talent, it was their ego and lack of coachability. So here's what you do: you're not hiring for past results, you're hiring for alignment and system loyalty. Okay, so how do we do this? You're going to want to use applications that ask about mindset, process fit, and of course, any type of past mentorship. Then you're going to want to run group interviews or even live onboarding to test them on how they show up. And think of it just like that. It is a test. Are they showing up on time? How are they carrying themselves? What's their mindset? What type of questions are they asking? And think about it this way: someone who's a top sales rep, I've seen this over and over again, okay? Top guys aren't like, well, how much money can I expect? And being super needy. Like, the top guys know when there's potential, they can understand how much money they make, right? They just do. And when you see a lot of needy people who are coming to you and the first thing coming out of their mouth is asking about compensation instead of really wondering about your process and the concern for leads, that would be a huge red flag, right? People who are good only want to know that you have a proven process that they can go and follow. People who are needy and not so confident in their skills, the first thing that's going to come out of the mouth is going to be compensation. And then you simply want to ask them, tell me about the last system you followed and how you improved it. Again, we're looking for people who are top reps, not average. And top people can not only follow a process, but they will creatively think of ways to improve that process over time. They thrive on getting better and improving process because it knows it's going to make the company and, of course, them even more money. All right, filtering is great, but you still don't know if they can actually execute. This is why we test. So, point number 3, testing. When we scaled the team to over 50 reps, we never gave full roles on day one, ever. Every single rep had to earn their spot on the team, period. What this did was completely remove the emotion out of hiring. There was no guessing and there was no trusting what they're saying. Everything was simple, logical measurement. We would just measure what they were doing and who was actually following the process and who was getting results. Now, you want to do this with a 2-week trial phase for new people who come onto your team with actual KPI benchmarks. Set the benchmarks in the very beginning, let them know what the expectations are for KPI, and give them the system, train them on the process, and see can they actually execute and hit KPI within 2 weeks. Make sure you're also including real-time CRM and Slack check-ins as well. The goal is very simple. You want a minimum of 1 closed deal or at least pipeline progression building up over time. And finally, you always keep the ones who want to grow, not just those who want a commission. Let me say this again. This was the biggest gold nugget that we found for the people who are the best for the company long term. The people who were thinking 6 to 12 months down the road. And I'll give you an example of one individual. One guy that I hired, shout out to Chris if you're watching this, I'll never forget what he said. He's like, listen, I'm here to go and I want to learn this as a skill. I know that I can get good at this over time. I know that if I learn this skill, it's going to pay me in dividends way out in the future. He's like, I don't care if that means I have to go 12 months of working this and learning this as a skill, and I don't even collect a paycheck. When he said it to me, not gonna lie, I was super stunned. I was like, wow, what a guy. He actually understands that this is a skill. He's not being needy. He's not having commission breath. He understands that, like, hey, because I've never done this before, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to be coachable, but I also know that it's gonna take time and I'm okay if it takes time. I was so impressed. And guess what? When he came on, he was not only coachable, but when it came to earning his spot and booking appointments before being closer, he ended up setting all the records on the team. He was booking 14 to 16 calls per week. And he ended up being the fastest setter who got promoted to a closing position in the history of the company. He got promoted so quickly because he just showed up, over delivered, super coachable, and then had a long-term mindset. Now, let's zoom out for a second. I know everyone is looking for unicorn closers, but the problem is that's not how you actually scale. Unicorns don't build systems. They actually burn out inside of the system. Real growth is going to come from reps who learn, follow, and of course, lead inside of your ecosystem. And that only happens when you stop hiring reactively and start treating sales recruiting like the hiring funnel it actually is. So if you are building a sales team or scaling a high-ticket offer, make sure you subscribe to the show. On this show, we drop real frameworks, not fluff. If you're building this rep funnel and wondering how to pay them once they pass your test, make sure you go back and listen to episode 6. This is where we break down the exact comp plans that drive performance without burning out your team. We'll put a link in the description or here on the channel. See you in the next episode.